Damien McNamara, Skin Analogy News Digital Network. When people go to the beach, they may not realize that there are a number of different hazards that they could encounter. And with me is Dr. Anthony Dixon of Victoria, Australia, to explain some of the hazards that people might encounter at the beach and put them in perspective.
There's no question the most dangerous cause of death is getting melanoma from getting too much sun, too much UV from too much sun. And this is a far bigger danger on the beach than anything else, such as drowning or sharks or falls or getting bitten by something.
Right, but what will people, if you just ask them in general, what do people generally think is the biggest risk for mortality at the beach?
People think first about drowning. People think also about getting out in the waves or in a current and drowning, which is a cause of death. But certainly, well, in Australia, we have about 6 times as many melanoma deaths as there are deaths from drowning all over. And when you think about drownings on the beach, then it's in the order of 50 times.
Can you talk a bit about shark attacks, shark bites, and put that in perspective with risk of skin cancer and some other hazards?
The shark attack story is interesting. Shark attack is actually a really rare cause for humans to die. About 4 die in the world each year. And when you think about it, that's a rare disease in anyone's language. In Australia, for every 1 person that dies of a shark attack, over 5,000 Australians die of melanoma. So it's such a rare cause of death, and so disproportionately played up in the media that people think about it far too much and far too often, when really, when they go to the beach, the sun should be far more on their minds than any risk of any sharks in the water.
Now, you gave some good news where you actually made a difference. You made an intervention, you had a campaign in Australia, and you saw some results. Could you tell me more about that? Yeah.
Well, we found that these nippers, that are sort of 6 to 12-year-old kids, they were having programs where they were out in the middle of the day, getting huge exposure of sun, wearing very little clothes, and they were out there for many hours. And this didn't seem to be a major feature in the minds of those planning the activities. What we've done is we've tried to change the culture, tried to make those running these programs understand that the sun is a big risk. And so we're starting to see a change. We're starting to see them move the events earlier in the day, so there's less UV. We're seeing some clubs now provide all the nippers with rash vests down to their wrists. They're starting to provide them with sponsored bucket hats, so they keep their head protected, and they only take the hats off for the events. And we're starting to see them provide lots of sunscreen so it can be applied and reapplied. And we know this is making a dramatic difference on the amount of UV these kids are getting in the Nippers program, so they get all the benefit and all the fun of learning about beach safety, but they do it in a sun-safe way.
This has been Damien McNamara, Skin Analogy News Digital Network at the Florida Society of Dermatologic Surgeons annual meeting in Orlando.